Hey, it's Bill and Christina from Sovereignty Lab. We are fresh from the garden.
Covered in mosquito bites and sweat and
we were just
grass.
talking about what we're going to talk about today. And, just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff popping.
Yeah, it's been intense and beautiful and...
Beautiful. Yes. It's a beautiful exploration of our divine humanness, isn't it? Anyhow.
It's like sometimes you have to throw that shit in so that you don't feel like the intensity that you're going through is like so bad. It's one of those intensities that makes you want to like really dig into these old patterns that you thought you dealt with. And sometimes like what I'm starting to get to is that some of the feelings and the emotions that are coming up is actually like what's left in the neurology, like what's still stuck in my body as pain that's been in the process of unwinding. But then when it can flare up, even from just the small thought about whatever that subject was, and I can give you a small example, the pain will start amping up, and then emotionally, like the mind starts churning on that pain. It's like, oh, I remember that feeling. I remember what that is. And that's this XYZ emotion and XYZ feelings. And so then you get into this like hamster wheel that the emotions amplify, the pain amplifies, and you can get spun out unless you can stop, slow it down like Bill is always talking about. Breathe in and like really realize like, wait a minute, like I'm here right now. I'm not back there. And it's like this past, present, and future thing that you've been talking about. You know, it's like really like tracking it back. I know you've got a lot to say about that.
So the strategy is to use a flowery, new age
it's beautiful
language. Touch your heart. Look deeply into the camera. And say what a beautiful process it is when it fucking sucks.
It does. I just want to drink wine and, like eat chocolate right now. It's like, I don't want to do shit.
So, I think it's more, like, for me, when I hear that it's a beautiful process, it's an unfolding, and like all the people at Burning Man that are stuck in their floods.
Oh my God.
And they're talking about they're all like banding together and supporting each other while all the people that drove from San Francisco to Burning Man, there's still a shit ton of homeless people in San Francisco that they're not banding together and supporting. So it's just, we've been kind of observing the hypocrisy in the things that are going on around us.
And they're only a couple of days into this crisis. What's going to happen in a few more days?
No. It's been, I don't know when it started. It started in August, last week
Burning
in
Man?
August. Yeah.
Okay, so
it's only like 10, 12, 15 days, something like that.
Yeah, they're not, give them a little bit longer in there and see what happens.
You're there without water and sanitation and stuff like that, and it gets kind of hairy when you're stuck in mud and you're with people that don't necessarily I don't know, it's just an interesting thing, just watch it unfold. But I think those things, it's a symptom in society of the ecstatic dance or all these other things, these catharsis that we go to do as a way of distracting from the daily grind, so to speak, of what really needs to be done. The communication in a relationship, or communication with clients in your business, or communication with yourself, or things that need to be done, the self-care and things like that. And I see people avoiding that in a lot of ways. The neurology has a way of tricking, our mind into thinking we're doing the thing that is going to help us, when in actuality we're in the same place. And it's because there's an inability to be present with what's going on as a result of, I think, chronic exposure to trauma. You know, trauma meaning you look at all of the world events that are happening in the past. You know,
well, it starts at birth. It starts with the stuff that the mother was going through. It starts with, you know, whatever your birth was like. Anytime you were vaccinated, that's a major trauma to the system. All the medications, all the interferences. 9/11, all the world events, all the geopathic stress, like from EMFs and Wi-Fi and I mean, it's just, it's fucking brutal right now.
Yeah, it's compounding.
Right.
When it compounds, now you not only have these experiences that your body has, but it's also a bombardment of things in looking at what's going on in your community, in your state, in your country, in the world, everything that's going on, the systematic traumatizing of wear your mask, we're got a global pandemic, all this other kind of craziness, and now they're trying to bring it back again. And what happens is your mind doesn't think clearly when it's under that level of stress for an extended period of time, and you don't know what you need, you can't think clearly, you don't sleep well, your body doesn't recover, your body doesn't heal, and all of a sudden other things seem like, oh, well, if I go to this sweat lodge, ecstatic dance, Burning Man, all these other things, that is going to have the answer.
So when we're overwhelmed and overloaded and have little bandwidth to deal with stuff, we're going to default to two big patterns of behavior, and one of them is going to be what we already know.
Sure. Whether
it worked or didn't work, and the other's going to be the brightest shiny object in your field. You know, that seems the easiest thing to obtain. This, you know, I wanted to go back to this morning. I was in the midst of all this feeling, and the pain was amping up, and I was feeling like...
You mean your beautiful experience?
My beautiful experience.
Anyways, go ahead.
I was feeling really overwhelmed, like getting to the point of just like, I'm really done with today. I'm really done with today. And
the light is shining on me.
I know. He's just, look, it's got the top of my head,
I'm
babe.
glistening.
Glistening. It's shining my whites in the bright light.
Okay.
And I realized that I was totally avoiding the things that were just, I perceived them as being slightly difficult. Stupid stuff like looking in a box of leftovers and seeing what was in there. It's too difficult. Or going and like trying to prepare a meal, like plan the meal for tonight. Or God, there was one other thing, and I had to like stop. And it wasn't the slowing down for me wasn't to feel shame about doing this. The slowing down for me was to recognize, like, okay, I'm really overwhelmed. I'm the pattern of me seeing like slightly challenging things, or just things that I don't feel like I can handle right now as being too much. Like, that's where I'm at. And I spoke it out loud, and everything started shifting.
Yeah, the awareness provides the mode for change. The ability to be present with what's going on shifts it, and it's like stupid simple.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's just stopping. When you don't know what to do, don't do anything.
And going back to those basic things, even for that, at that point, it was just not doing anything until I just kind of breathed and drank some water and, you know, just got present with what was going on. But this is why we talk about these routines and, you know, chopping wood and carrying water.
Straightening up the house, sweeping the floor, brushing your teeth,
change
making
your
the
sheets.
bed. I mean, it's like, you get stupid simple.
Right.
And
you know,
that's what will shift all of that stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then you get your center. It's like, okay, I see what I need to do, which could be, I need to rest.
Right.
Or it could be I need to exercise, or it could be I need to write an email to someone. What is the thing in your mind that if I did that thing, it's going to decrease my stress, anxiety, it's gonna make me feel better, in terms of moving things forward for the day. The big thing is, the business right now. The knee pain guru has been moving forward, and you've been coming to all the knee club calls, and that has been really good, I think, in the context of helping people that are struggling with knee pain, and her bringing the homeopathy, the skill set of homeopathy to those calls to help people and be a different, bringing a different perspective, because I'm looking at the structure and setting up the basics for it. And a lot of the people that we're working with right now have had knee replacements. And that's one of those things that there was like, they wanted to do the thing that it's like, hurry up and do something. And that thing that they did was an irreversible process of having a surgery where they're replacing a joint. And now they have a whole bunch of issues on the other side of that experience of replacing the joint. And it isn't the panacea that they thought it was going to be on the other side of the surgery.
Especially for performance-based people, like martial artists or people that are very athletic, because you only are going to ever get a certain range of motion out of an artificial joint too.
Yeah. And
on top of all the other issues.
There's a whole set of issues, but it's like that the surgery is always an option. And I think there's that place where exhaust all your options and leave surgery for last. And what I find is people are thinking the thing to do is the surgery, and then they're looking for alternative options after that because the surgery didn't work. Not seeing that a natural approach, looking at herbs or diet or homeopathy or body work or massage or acupuncture, it was something to try something to get a better understanding before going for the irreversible option.
I see this in homeopathic practice too.
That's the fear. That's the fear. I gotta do something. And not slowing down, not being focused and clear, and then jumping and doing that thing that actually makes your situation worse.
Yeah, God, that's a whole video, a whole talk about,
Yeah.
The neurology getting all amped up, like people who are either already have a high level of anxiety and fear. They have a fear of the unknown. Uncertainty. They, have to just do all the time. Like
You said,
I said, do. Dad jokes, 24/7.
No. I was saying stuff like that in grade school before I had a kid. Anyways.
Yeah.
You did say doo-doo.
I did.
And depending on how you look at it, you said it twice.
No, I said do.
Anyways, go ahead. You gotta learn to laugh at yourself, no matter what's going on. She got a haircut yesterday.
I did. That's why I have a little puffball at the top of my head.
Yeah.
It was all nice and styled earlier, and then I was like,
She's all like, look at my hair.
My hairdresser is amazing. Our hairdresser, she actually cuts both of our hair. She's amazing. No, anyway, she's makes all her own hair products, including shampoo and styling stuff and color. And so it's all organic and all natural, and she's been doing it for 30 years, cutting hair for 30 years. So it's
But I think the point that to bring to the table about what Jen is doing is it's because it's not just natural and organic, because you go to the grocery store and you see stuff that's labeled natural and organic. It's people that are growing the herbs or foraging those herbs and making them into something that can be used in your hair or for skincare or tooth,
right.
brushing your teeth.
And she's not sticking the little preservatives and the weird ingredients in there that aren't good for you. But the rest of it's natural and organic, so it's okay.
It's free range. They're
So,
free range
right.
too. Herbs.
So yeah, it's I think the big thing is to keep in mind that, you know, the shifts that we're going through for the rest of the year are really a refinement of the skills and the tools that we already have. So
Or not, you know, like
no. This is even coming up astrologically that the focus, like there's going to be the stuff that comes up to clear out so that what we already possess gets stronger. And the old gifts that we maybe thought we lost, you know, like, oh yeah, I used to be really sensitive to energy when I was a kid, or, you know, like I used to get out in nature a lot, you know, whatever your story is, like leaning into that right now is like the energy, the conditions are ripe to really use that this time to delve into that with like the gust of wind behind your back, you know, pushing your sails to go forward.
and that's what Christina's talking about is what is we're kind of guided and directed to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And those other shiny objects, the distractions from the basic things that are going to get us centered and focused and be able to tune in to those gifts and abilities we all possess in different ways. When we avoid that, when we do those things that are going to keep us occupied, distracted, drinking or doing drugs or, you know, the next event or going out all the time,
Yes.
not doing self-care, that
Concept.
makes the process that Christina's talking about that much more difficult, because we're going on a track that's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And at this point we have less and less of a choice, and the more we ignore, the more we distract ourselves, the more difficult the wake-up call is.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like now. It's now.
Every time. It's all now. Right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful process.
Oh man. And so
We're going to change our name
Oh, are you going
to
to be
Moonwalker Spirit something. I'll just be Bill.
I'll just be Christina.
Well, with an X.
Well, there's a good reason about that.
Sure.
I was going to say one more thing about so part of coming back to our strengths and the things that, you know, developing what we already have, like that's going to include a large amount of self-care too. And the self-care is not necessarily going to be like the next concert and the next event, like, oh, I'm just so stressed out, I need to do that. Like this is
slowing down
down
a lot more.
of baseline.
Because when we're so amped up because of all the environment that we've been in from when we were little, I would even venture to say we've created a quiet baseline, but there's still baseline below that. And everybody has to quiet down more.
So I was thinking about this earlier, because I don't remember what we were talking about, like how it came in, but I started like seeing the 30,000 foot view of how when we were little,
like we, or all of us, or even
you
the
and
people watching.
You and I.
How about them?
They can relate if they want to.
Okay.
They'll distract me right now.
Send us a message.
So what's been happening over the last 100 years, not to say that we're 100 years old, is that with the geopathic noise and all the stuff that's happening, like everything's gotten noisier and more distracting. So there's all this stimulation that stimulates our whole nervous system. So we are not in that baseline anymore. This is like what we were talking about. But what happens is that just makes us, we have to be more aware, to be more quiet. Anyway, I decided I'm not gonna go all the way into that. Just keep going back to the keeping baseline really, really quiet and calm, because it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah. Yeah, intense. You'll wake up and you feel like you just got hit by a truck, or you have no energy. I'm thinking about the call today, knee club call today, and everybody was all dealing with their own different things that were going on.
Yeah.
And the slowing down and becoming more present to understand how you got to the place that you're at right now, which is looking at the past, actually changes your trajectory for the future. It's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, I'm actually going to post that video. I made a recording of it.
Whoa,
So
okay.
I will post that on our channel because he talks about, like from a tracking perspective, you know, stuff that you...
Primitive skills, stalking animals in the woods. Because it's all universal principles.
Yep.
There's the nature's rhythm of things, and when we can see how there's a universal principle that shines through from primitive skills, which is going to be indigenous understanding of nature, and what we're dealing with in terms of healing ourselves or healing our bodies or whatever that is, it all applies. If it's a universal principle, it's going to shine through in every part of your life. Relationships, job, family, gardening, tracking, beekeeping, horses. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
Are we good?
yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, great.
All right, guys.
We'll do an update because there's a lot of stuff going on the homestead as far as things go. We'll do another one of those here shortly, but this was kind of impromptu. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. What else we got? You need some help, support, homeopathy or bodywork. If you're in Western North Carolina, want to come see me, send us a message, or we got the links. We'll put the links so they can schedule a time
to
chat
description.
with one of us. And I also can support you remotely.
Me
So
too.
can she. Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Take
Cool.
care.
Thanks.
Our website's sovereigntylab.com.
Have a great
All
one.
right, bye.
Bye-bye.